Hey guys, wanted to share with you a very cool and quick method that you can pretty much start doing today to start getting a bunch of calls for your cleaning business or your cleaning company. And this is whether you have a commercial cleaning company, house cleaning, or whether you're targeting Airbnbs, carpet cleaning. And this method involves using Craigslist. Okay, and so a lot of people have a big misconception about Craigslist. Most people don't know how to use Craigslist properly, so they don't really get the calls that they should be getting, or the customers from it, or they think it's not going to be premium clients from Craigslist. And there's a whole host of things that I've heard from people where they go, hey, people on Craigslist aren't going to give you their card, or there's a whole different excuses, or there's no way Craigslist gets that many phone calls or that much business. So many things I've heard, which are big misconceptions. So if you use Craigslist correctly, you can start getting calls immediately. And this is what we used to use for my old cleaning company when we had in the past, and it used to get us 5K plus a month consistently. And Craigslist was a little different back then too, right? A couple years ago, but Craigslist still works amazing. Probably not as amazing as a couple years ago, but it's still a market that's still being untapped. And it landed us so much house cleaning clients, so a good amount of office contracts, property managers. Even you'd be surprised who goes on Craigslist. Even property managers go on here, and we landed a big contract from that. So it works amazingly, and this is the same method we use on clients inside of our agency. One of the method we use to start generating them a ton of calls. And it's also what I'm going to use for a new cleaning company that I'll be starting at the time of this filming. So there's a new cleaning company that I'm starting on top of that. So this is pretty much one of the first few things we do for a new cleaning company, whether it be mine or whether it be for a client's. All right. So let me go ahead and show you the method. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a sample ad. This is just a sample ad that I put together for a house cleaning company. Now, this is again for the purpose of this video, we're using house cleaning as an example, but you can use this again. Remember, for commercial cleaning, carpet cleaning, Airbnb focused companies, and so on. Okay, so let's start with the title. Okay, let's really dissect this ad because this ad looks so simple, but there's a lot of things going on. Okay, let's start with the title. You notice the title, right? First thing we do is we love to put in keywords in the title. Why is that important, right? Most people don't even optimize properly, or maybe they just put in one keyword and that's it. So the reason is when somebody goes on Craigslist and types in house cleaning, right? Let me do it in this view. Okay. You'll notice, right, that all the ads show up. So most of the time on Craigslist, people are actually searching inside of Craigslist. They're not going through here. I mean, some are, but a lot of people, just to make their life easier, they're just going here and typing. So if your ad doesn't even show up, good luck getting phone calls, right? So that's the very bare minimum. You should know your keywords, right? If you're commercial cleaning, it might be like office cleaning, commercial cleaning. You're going to want to test out different keywords to see what works in your area or in your city. And again, home. Yeah, so you'll start to see some of the ones that other companies are also targeting, right? So janitorial service, commercial cleaning. You're gonna want to play around with that. And if you're carpet cleaning, again, you want to play around with upholstery, etc., and see what kind of ads your competitors are also putting out. And you want to play around and test out your ads. Okay. So again, in this case, it's house cleaning and maid service. But we do so many different ads. We don't just do one ad at a time. We're usually running 4, 5, 6, 7 ads at a time, all targeting different variations of the keywords and split testing them. And we have a whole method, especially when we're doing it for clients. We have a whole method we do to split test and see which one is the most best performing ad, so we can double down, triple down on those kind of ads, and so on. So, excuse me. So, keyword is number one. Number two is making sure your title even gets clicked on. And you have to make sure, out of all these ads, why is somebody clicking on yours? If nobody clicks on your ad, I mean, good luck even getting a customer because nobody's finding your ad or clicking on it. Okay, so one of the things we like to do is add some sort of modifier, like in a parentheses, like a free bonus, some sort of offer that really sticks out. So you have to think in your business, and you want to test out multiple different offers, right? Free bonus, usually we found that it intrigues people enough to click on the ad. but a free fridge cleaning, something that you know that your type of clients would really want, some sort of enticing, right? It doesn't always have to be like completely accurate in the business. For example, you might say a free fridge cleaning or a free room cleaning or so on. But there might be more to it than that. Like when they call you and they try to redeem that, there might be a bunch of steps on how they redeem that. But you don't need to go into detail on your Craigslist ad about that. This is just all about generating calls on the front end. So, some sort of quick modifier that they can see that will really intrigue them. And another thing is, again, we would type in house cleaning like we did. Okay. And we'll see the kind of titles that people are putting out. Okay. And we want to stand out from the rest. So everybody currently seems to be doing all caps, right, in our city, and a bunch of like little emojis, colorful emojis. So we want to look different than them, right? We want to contrast these titles. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the black arrows, not colorful, and we're going to put number 1. Most people don't see me putting numbers, right? And for now, we're testing it out with lowercase, right? But we're going to have different ads testing different variations, maybe different keywords, right? Different emojis, emojis in between the ads, and so on. We're going to see what works best and what's getting clicked on the most. So we're always split testing, but this is just an example, okay? So title, optimize for keyword, an offer that really makes people want to click, and then contrast your title among what other people are title looks like. Okay. First step is getting somebody to click the ad. Second biggest important thing people overlook is the images. Here's the reason why images are so important. When people are viewing Craigslist, sometimes they're viewing it in gallery mode, right? Sometimes it's preset in gallery mode for some people. So if your images are like this is such a waste of image, because you'll notice, look at these images. They're just images of homes or like some sort of business card, or like very weird, like very unappealing image of a nasty stove, right? So most of the competition is very, very poor when it comes to this. So what you want to do is you want to get a high quality image. You don't want to get some cliche image like this that every person in the clean business world uses. You want to use something that's colorful, high quality. Notice how this image contrasts. It's colorful, blue, pink, almost like you're designing a website, right? It doesn't need to be that intricate, but it needs to look good. It needs to stick out. Put some effort into the image. And the image is very important because some people never even click your ad, right? So here's what we want to achieve with the image. Colorful, sticks out, looks beautiful, right? It looks different. It's not cliche. It doesn't look boring, but also we don't want to overdo it with a bunch. Like some people I've seen will put so much text on the image. Nobody on Craigslist has the time to read a bunch of text on the image. Don't overstuff it. Just keep it simple. You want to have definitely your big phone number, right? Stand out at the very top, right? Or somewhere in the top area, big, bold. And the reason that's important is, like I said, some people will never even click your ad. They're just scrolling like this. So if they're on their phone and they see a phone number, they're like, oh, cool. And they click it because, most people don't have the attention to even click on it and they're in a hurry. And rightfully so, they'll go ahead and just call the number on the image. So having your number on the image, super important. Okay. And then quickly letting people know what you do, just not all your services, just the top ones. In this case, we just, with this ad, we're just targeting house cleaning, apartment cleaning. I don't know why it says office cleaning, but it's just in case. But again, this text isn't the best example, but you might put standard deep move out, for example, right? That's actually a better example. Again, this is a very old image I'm using for the sake of this video. So this might say standard deep move out. If you're a commercial cleaning company, might say office cleanings, et cetera, right? Or so on. Just some quick 3 bullet points, right? And then we just put flat rates here. But again, quick, to the point, phone number on there, contrasting, nice, beautiful image that draws people to either click on your ad, or even if they don't, they quickly know what you do, what services you offer, and what number to call. So they can call from there. Lots of calls are missed here. Okay. Image, that's why image is important. The third thing, now when we get to the body, okay, it's the format is one big call to action at the top, one big call to action at the bottom. Okay, redundant. You do not, whatever you do not link to your website. This is where, again, a lot of people mess up and they say, check out our website here, or book a cleaning here, or get a quote on our website here. Most people on Craigslist don't do that. Some might, but most people don't. Most people are trying to make a phone call, usually is what we found. So direct all the traffic to your number, okay? Craigslist clients do best on phone calls, and they're also easily sold over the phone, okay? If you start pushing them towards your website, you're going to notice, quote unquote, things don't work, okay? So it's usually very simple. Call this number today to get an instant quote. Again, we play around with the call to action all the time on different ads when we're split testing. Call this number today to get your free fridge cleaning, for example. Let's say we set that. That might be another one, right? So we play around with a different different call to actions, okay? Okay, so once you have the call to action, the very next thing on the body is you're going to go ahead and want to put quickly. Again, another thing people do wrong in Craigslist is filling all this out with a bunch of content, and nobody reads that, okay? You want to be quick to the point. What do you guys do? Quick bullet points, okay? And why should they call you? Quick bullet points, okay? Sometimes we go into detail here a little bit sometimes, right? And again, we split test this. We use the different variations of our why choose us. So it's not always the same on every ad. We're always testing to see what does best. So that's part of split testing, which we won't cover in this video. But that's basically the main thing for the body. Quick to the point, call. Everything directed towards the number. And then, of course, in here, this thing right here is actually when you're posting on Craigslist, right? Okay, it's basically this right here, right? The city or neighborhood. So if we're posting Los Angeles, usually we like to do Los Angeles and surrounding areas for anybody seeing the ad to know that we don't just service this low radius, but pretty much all the surrounding areas. But also, what we used to do in the past is we used to use the city or neighborhood section for more keywords. So we would put maid service, cleaning company, etc., right? And to target other keywords. So you can actually do that. And that used to work really well in the past. So we would sometimes stuff this section. So we split test those two sometimes. So it's not always this, but in this section, we stuff it with more keywords. Test it around, play around with it, see which ad performs best. But that's what that is, the city or neighborhood. What else? Now that you know how to set up the ad properly, how to direct it to the phone, and how to go about it from title to picture to the body, let's talk about how often and where to post. So posting needs to happen in the service section, skilled trade, and household, okay? But also another section is for sale general. These are the three sections you will want to post on, with most of it being in the household, okay? Now, how often do you post? Well, here's the thing. Every city is different. So if the competition is a little more fierce, competition on Craigslist used to be more fierce when they used to not charge money to post. In Los Angeles back in 2016, 2017, 2018, it used to be that, I mean, it's still kind of competitive. You can see people were posting pretty frequently, right? But it used to be people were posting like almost every minute. And so with Craigslist, you almost had to play a game back in the day where we were posting every hour. We had a whole Craigslist team. Craigslist was so lucrative. We had a whole team dedicated to posting every single hour just so we can remain at the top, okay? If you did your keyword optimization right, we usually used to remain on top for the most part. But at the time, it was so crazy in Los Angeles that people were picking up on what we were doing. People started copying our images. People started copying certain things, and we had to move things around. But we had somebody dedicated posting every single hour. That's how crazy it was back then. Nowadays, you don't have to really do that. But again, your mileage may vary depending on what city you're in. Some cities are not as competitive. But a general rule of thumb is you should at least be posting one ad a day, bare minimum. Okay. You should be posting or renewing one new ad a day. And you should be running multiple ads at the same time, because you never know which one does best. So run at least 3 ads at the same time. To make it really simple, one in household, one in skill trade, and one in for sale, let's say, in the general section, right? And you would want to renew every 24 hours. And if it doesn't let you, I always forget with Craigslist, but if it doesn't let you renew in 24 hours, just another ad. But basically, one new ad, one new brand new ad every single 24 hours, or renewing an old ad. But basically, one live post a day. Okay. So basically, you should be posting, you should be paying whatever that fee is. In our city is $5. So you should be paying $5 every single day, either in posting a new one or renewing one. Okay. In every one of these sections. And that is the bare minimum. Okay. Um, do that for, sometimes we've noticed with Craigslist, another thing is, I don't know why, but sometimes it takes a while almost to gain traction. Maybe it's like some weeks that we're posting are just slow. So don't get discouraged if calls don't come in like crazy on the first day or 2 or 3 or the first week. We've noticed sometimes it takes like almost like a build up, almost like a ramp up, where we've been posting ads over and over and over, and then by the second week, calls start to come in, and the third week it starts to build up, and we start to get steady flow going in a couple weeks in. If you're not getting enough calls, another troubleshooting thing you could do is post more ads. Make sure you're doing your keywords and images properly and testing out different ads. But until you've tested it out with enough ads, you won't really know what's possible in your city. Once you kind of get the rough baseline, for example, in certain cities, like I mentioned, one ad a day might not get you that many calls, and it might even discourage you and say, hey, Craigslist doesn't work for me, and then you end up leaving. Instead of doing that, I know this sounds counterintuitive, right? But in your city, try posting 2 to 3 more times in a day. Really test it out. Like really milk it out before, before deciding Craigslist is not for you. But in most cases, Craigslist, if done right, you can find the baseline of what works in your city. Okay, so go, sometimes go hard every single day for a couple weeks, a couple of extra ads per day for a couple weeks, and really see how much calls you get, and you'll be able to establish a rough baseline, and then you can start lowering your ads to see, if it takes a hit from the calls that you're getting up until you find the correct baseline. So if we post 10 ads a day and we get a certain amount of calls over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then we might lower it to like 5 ads and see if it changes anything. And if it doesn't, 5 ads we can get away, and so on, right? We found the effective dose, where past a certain point, all the ads in the world doesn't get you that many calls. So back in the day in 2016, for example, we used to post, way more than 10 ads a day. And if we did go below 10 ads, we did notice a difference in calls. Nowadays, it's not like that, but just an example. Okay. So another thing is, if you're in a city like Los Angeles, where when you're posting an ad, we have multiple subsections, right? Take advantage of every single section. Post in this city, post in this city, post in this subsection of Los Angeles, and some cities are like that. Okay, assuming you service all areas of that city. So that's another thing I forgot to mention. Don't just post here, and here in the west side of LA, for example. Also do it for this. 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 And this, right? And the amount of calls you get usually will be insane, especially if you're in a city like that. Okay. Let me know how this works out for you guys. And I'm excited to hear, any stories on success with this method. Okay. All right. Take care.